Gold prices hit record highs and suddenly metal detecting feels like the cleanest path of all. No crushes, no chemicals, no shafts, no paperwork stacks. Just a detector, a coil skimming the ground, and a possibility that the next signal could change everything. Compared to alluvial or hard rock mining, detecting looks simple, mobile, and almost elegant. That perception is exactly why metal detecting is often the most misunderstood path of the three. This video, like the others in the series, is grounded in the realities of Australian conditions and legislation, but the caveats apply almost everywhere gold detecting exists. Different countries tweak the rules, but the physics, competition, and human limits don't change. Detecting doesn't fail because people don't try hard enough. It fails because the system quietly punishes assumptions. The first reality most people encounter is cost. Entry-level detectors can absolutely find gold, especially find gold in areas where the landscape has been stripped down to bedrock. Machines like the Gold Monster have proven that. But if you're chasing larger nuggets, depth becomes everything, and depth costs money. High-end detectors capable of punching half a metre to a metre into the ground come with price tags in the thousands, sometimes well into 5 figures. That investment creates a powerful double-edged sword. On one hand, deep detection opens ground that cheaper machines simply can't touch. On the other hand, it means you're now detecting everything at depth, not just gold. Old tin cans, buried wire, rusted fragments, and forgotten rubbish suddenly become your daily companions. You can spend hours digging a deep, exhausting hole only to pull out trash. Some experienced detectorists claim they can hear the difference between gold and rubbish. Sometimes they can, often they can't. Ground conditions, orientation, and depth can make trash sound perfect. There is no detector in the world that guarantees gold-only signals. Trash is the bane of full-time detecting. You can spend an entire day digging nothing but junk and go home with sore arms and nothing to show for it. That doesn't mean you did anything wrong. It means you were detecting honestly. Anyone selling a vision of constant gold signals is selling fiction. Because of this, location becomes everything. Detecting thrives where historic mining was limited or incomplete. That's why arid regions like parts of Western Australia and the Northern Territory stand out. Vast landscapes, shallow cover, and old alluvial systems that were never fully worked by hand miners create real opportunity. In those regions, earning a full-time wage detecting is genuinely possible. It has been done, and it's still being done. But that possibility comes with risk. Competitions in those regions is intense. Thousands of people have the same idea, the same equipment, the same geological understanding, and the same determination. Detectors don't just compete against geology, they compete against each other. Every nugget found is one less left behind. Detecting is a depletion game, and depletion accelerates when crowds arrive. Competition also pushes detectorists towards marginal ground. As easy patches disappear, people work harder for smaller, deeper, and rarer gold. That increases fatigue, increases trash dug per ounce recovered, and stretches the time between wins. Full-time detecting is not about finding gold every day. It's about surviving long stretches without finding any. Private land is often held up as the solution. In some cases it is. Access control reduces competition and allows more systematic work. But private land doesn't guarantee gold. Many landowners assume gold is present because of regional history, not because of actual mineralization. Detecting private land can be just as barren as public ground, with the added complexity of agreements, expectations, and sometimes pressure to produce results. There's also a major limitation most people don't think through. Detectors work best when paired with earth moving. Exposing old channels, scraping shallow cover, and revealing bedrock dramatically improves detection success. That's why some of the most successful detecting operations are actually hybrid operations using excavators. But that option is almost always unavailable to individuals on public land. Most detectorists are swinging coils over ground that has already been detected many times before, hoping for what others missed. Ground conditions add another layer of difficulty. Mineralized soils, ironstone, hot rocks, salt flats, and variable clays can all distort signals. In some areas, the detector never truly settles. Constant noise erodes concentration and confidence. Ground that sounds terrible often still holds gold, but extracting it requires patience and skill that few people can maintain day after day. Physical endurance is another silent limiter. Proper detecting isn't casual walking. It's slow, disciplined swinging with overlapping passes, constant listening, and frequent digging. Doing that for 8 to 10 hours a day places enormous strain on shoulders, elbows, wrists, hips, and lower backs. Repetitive strain injuries are common. A minor shoulder problem can end detecting entirely. There is no workaround when your arm stops cooperating. Then there's the issue of coverage. People massively overestimate how much ground they can properly detect. Thorough detecting means slow progress. Covering a hectare properly can take days. Once obvious patches are exhausted, advancement becomes painstaking. Full-time detecting is not about kilometers walked, it's about centimeters scanned. The returns diminish quickly. Early success often comes from obvious spots. As those are cleaned out, gold becomes smaller, deeper, or more isolated. Detecting doesn't scale. You don't get faster returns by working harder. You get slower returns as the ground matures. That forces constant relocation, research, and reassessment. Research itself is a hidden workload. Studying geological maps, historical records, lease data, satellite imagery, and access permissions takes enormous time. None of that time produces immediate income. It's necessary, but it's unpaid. Full-time detecting is as much desk work as field work, and many people burn out before the research pays off. Weather also shapes outcomes. Extreme heat, cold mornings, flies, dust, dehydration, and isolation all take a toll. Some of the best detecting seasons are also the most physically punishing. Storms can shut down access entirely. Vehicles break far from help. Phone reception disappears. Safety becomes a daily consideration, not an afterthought. Financial volatility is perhaps the defining feature of detecting. Income comes in spikes. One good nugget can carry weeks or months, but there is no schedule and no predictability. That instability makes budgeting, planning, and mental balance difficult. Detecting rewards patience, but punishes desperation. There's also the sunk cost trap. After spending thousands on a detector, people feel compelled to justify the purchase. That can keep them detecting poor ground far longer than they should, chasing losses instead of making clear decisions. One more reality worth addressing is signal discipline and decision fatigue. Full-time detecting forces you to make thousands of micro decisions every day. Dig or don't dig, rescan or move on, widen the hole or abandon it, trust the signal or trust your instincts. Over time, this constant decision-making becomes exhausting in a way most people don't anticipate. Missed gold and unnecessary holes both linger mentally, and that cumulative doubt can quietly degrade judgment. Some detectorists start second-guessing everything, while others swing too fast just to escape the mental load. Maintaining disciplined, consistent decision-making over months and years is one of the least visible but most critical skills in detecting, and it's often the difference between long-term success and quiet burnout. And yet, despite all of this, metal detecting remains incredibly compelling. When it works, it's unmatched. The moment a nugget appears in a hole is electric, the feedback is immediate, the gold is clean, the sense of discovery is personal and direct. For some people, that feeling is worth everything that comes with it. Detecting offers mobility, autonomy, and a direct relationship between effort and outcome that modern work rarely provides. For a small number of people, especially those willing to travel, research deeply, and tolerate long dry spells, detecting can support a livelihood, but it demands resilience, discipline, and emotional control far beyond what most people expect. This video isn't about discouraging detecting, it's about placing it honestly alongside alluvial and hard rock mining. Each path into gold has its own price. Alluvial is at the mercy of water and chance. Hard rock is bound by geology, machinery, and law. Detecting is bound by competition, endurance, and randomness. Gold doesn't reward optimism, it rewards understanding, and metal detecting, more than any other method, tests whether you truly have it. I hope you found this as interesting as I did, and as always, thanks for watching. Before I end this video, I'd like to give a big shout out to my Patreon and YouTube members. Thank you so much to everyone that helps to support this channel.